Hilary House has a smashed face like a dumped slum. The glass eyes has been smashed for the squatters to kill off the rest of the abandoned dump. The brown splattered fire marks looks like a bundle of peas pudding which has rotted and been thrown at the wall and exploded. The mouths are the lifts waiting to trap people in their dull metal teeth. The smell is a strong, stuffy smell which somehow creeps up your nose and you find you have turned and going down the stairs instead of up. But that is not all. You look up and see the sad, draped, lightless lampposts. You look up tiredly and yawn. Your eyes open wide to see the beautiful, gleamy, colourful sky which lingers in your eyes and leaves diamond teardrops in your eyes. You think to yourself, at least there's something in Poplar which is lovely, and that's definitely the sky.
Yvonne Savage from Manorfields Primary School in Poplar in the East End of London was reading her own poem about a block of flats near where she lives. And it makes us ask whether things are really better or worse for the children like Yvonne than they used to be 70, 100 years ago. In a sense, it's a silly question. I've known that area all my life, and my father was born there 90 years ago, and I know that children of his generation frequently died from tuberculosis, diphtheria, scarlet fever. Today's children survive, and they're stronger, healthier, better fed, better clothed. But you can't help having a doubt about whether something has been lost in the lives of the modern child. How has the city changed? Well, in the first place, there are changes like the change from the corner shop to the supermarket, big changes in housing, from little streets with front doors and backyards to living in blocks of flats. The biggest change of all, of course, is the takeover of the city by the motor car and the motor lorry. It's the traffic that's killed off the life of the street. Parents just can't let their children out to play. It wouldn't be so bad if we still had backyards, but most city children are trapped in their flats. Unfortunately, a tarmac playground doesn't provide a complete answer. You have only to ask the children.
Oh, it's not very good. It's horrible. Took the slides down, the swings.
Yeah,
It's boring.
because there ain't nothing enjoyable to do.
Just going on the climbing frames, that's all you do. It's quite dangerous.
Nah, it's not worth it. You can't enjoy it.
And if you jump about on the bars and they make noises, the people come out and complain on the windows.
The trouble with the city is that there's competition for space, and children's needs come last. If they're lucky, there's a fenced-off kickabout in a sort of no-man's land. But there isn't room for anything else. Any old city dweller can look back to his or her childhood to feel that something is missing from the lives of modern city children. Here's the East End in the 1930s. It's a pedestrian street, no cars in sight. Adults and everyone else, from babies to teenagers, are enjoying the improvised game of cricket. And in those days, children were eager spectators of the work of adults. The worlds of children and grown-ups weren't separated as they tend to be nowadays. We asked three boys from Spitalfields to show us where they play, Stephen, Paul and Achilles.
It's hard stuff getting through this thing. I know. Achilles, maybe you won't be able to fit through. Push out. Come on, go on, get through.
That's it, we've done it.
Ah, thank God. Let's go.
me.
Let's
Yeah,
go
no,
to
it's a
swings. What a swings? It's not in a play park. There. Go on. Wait. Who wants to go? Me.
Hey.
I'm next. I'm next. If you bust it, bust your face. Can't even get on. Look at him.
That's it, go on a bit faster.
Tell me, why'd you come here?
We come here to play.
Yeah, sort of exciting.
Is it? Why?
Well,
It's like a dump.
Yeah.
You can climb.
Yeah.
Swing.
Sort of like a castle or something. And we can find sort of, stuff and make camp or something.
Do you feel that you're allowed to be here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because no one's living here or something, so it's just like, we can walk around, we're not disturbing really anyone.
Stephen, you live here, don't you? Whereabouts do you live?
Number 10.
Up there. What are the places where you play around here?
In a football pitch and in a dump.
Why do they choose the dump? What's the attraction of it? Well, the pioneers of the adventure playground learnt from what children actually did on bomb sites after the war. They saw the advantages of space and the freedom to muck about and make your own world. Adventure playgrounds offer this freedom and a lot more, but there just aren't enough of them.
Kilias, where do you live?
Just live up there.
Tell me, how do you play around here?
Well, really, you can't play. There's so many signs. You can't play no ball games, no cycling, no hookers. You're not allowed to go in the laundry. All those kinds of stuff.
Do you play on the grass at all?
No, we're not even allowed to play on the grass.
Why not?
Don't. Caretaker just don't let us. Makes me feel angry in a way. Don't like it.
So where do you go?
Sometimes we would go around where the statue is. That's got a small hand and a big body.
I'm not playing.
Whether we like it or not, children are going to make their own use of their surroundings. One thing they adore is the chance to climb and clamber up things. And of course they do this in spite of the motorist, the caretaker or the council.
Jesse, get lost.
After that, we probably go on the garage on top. Climb up, and you can mess around on top there.
Are you allowed to go to those places?
Well, where the statue is and where the garage is, yes.
But do you go to other places where you're not allowed to go?
Well, sometimes.
If we deny children access to the adult world, we can hardly be surprised if they find excitement in things we don't approve of. Down below, Paul has a secret zoo in his flat.
Well, I like the animals because they're just nice. My mum found one pigeon with a broken wing, and my sister found another one.
Paul is lucky to have parents who've encouraged a feeling for animals. It's marvellous for children to be in touch with other dependent creatures like themselves. They serve, as Christopher Smart wrote 300 years ago, as models to teach the children benevolence. In the old East End, you could always keep chickens and rabbits in the backyard, but in most blocks of flats, you're just not allowed to keep pets. Is there another way of bringing city children in touch with animals and their needs? Well, within a few hundred yards of the world's financial capital, we have, would you believe it, and purely because of the slump in urban redevelopment, a farm. In many ways, it's like an adventure playground, but with a difference. You can dig and build and have campfires, but you can also tend and feed birds and animals. The farm in Spitalfields is run by Albert Barber. It's one of the more creative provisions for city children of the last decade. The man who dreamt up the city farm idea is Ed Berman.
Well, back in 1972, when Interaction started City Farm 1 up in Gospel Oak, London Borough of Camden, we thought that there was all this wasteland around, and what we ought to do was to try and make it useful for the people in the neighborhoods where this wasteland occurred. So we had the idea of bringing in some people just to dig up the land and do some planting, and then bring in some small animals like chickens and rabbits and so on that children in the city who might not ever have been able to see animals like this or play with them or come close to them in a sort of natural habitat could have the opportunity to do so. And then it grew from there.
If you're right, ask the captain. If you're right, ask the
Albert Barber.
Well, the children actually are doing their own thing here, in a sense. They're building it, and they make it work in that way because it then belongs to them. They feel that they're part and parcel of what they're doing. I think if you do it any other way, if the grown-ups build the place for them, and then it'd just be like going to the zoo or another park, where basically this is theirs, you know.
It's nice to be working with animals. I like animals, and I'm trying to be a vet when I grow up.
When you come here, what are the things you do, Rosie?
Well, most of the time I'll clean out the sheeps. Sometimes I'll clean out the stables. And once in a while I'll do the ducks.
I enjoy it, really, because when I'm older, like Darren, I might be a vet, and I just like the animals and that. And I like enjoying grooming a donkey and things, you know, and help out as much as I can.
Do you think there's a difference between working with Phyllis and Albert and sort of working with your teachers at school?
Yeah, there's a lot of difference, because where you're at school, you have to do what the teacher says, and you have to work, you can't have a laugh with them or anything like that. But with Phyllis and Albert, you can have a laugh and you can do what you want. You haven't got anyone to say to you to do this and do that. If you want to do it, you do it. If you don't, you just don't do it.
The teachers in school, they tell you to do your work, and Phyllis and Albie over there, they ask you to do it.
To begin with, I used to take them to the market, and, you know, where they was a little bit shy, I was, of course. I've never sort of done that sort of thing before. So they know whatever we ask them to do, such as the goats, the rabbits, getting food, getting chippings, that if they don't do it, then we've got to do it. So we sort of got that relationship with them.
Collecting waste vegetables from the market to feed the animals is just one way of giving children the experience of finding their way around in the city. This is important. One worrying report on the lives of city children revealed that 50% of under-5s never went out to play. Even more surprising was an international survey of the lives of young city teenagers, which concluded that they too were starved of the experience of the city. Gathering sawdust and wood chippings from the timber yard round the corner involves negotiation with the real world of adults and local industry.
We've forgot string.
It's a mutual benefit. The yard wants to get rid of the stuff, the farm needs it for litter and bedding. Any other kind of hobby or enthusiasm, football, fishing or music, for example, encourages children to explore the city and find out what it can do for them. They have simple meals too on the farm. The children built the Tudor hut with timber from demolition sites. They did it. They've learnt about carpentry, painting and even bricklaying. They built the animal houses out of old packing cases and the concrete pond for the ducks. In fact, they built everything on the farm.
Well, hold on to that in case they want some more. Everything. Who's coming first?
You play next week. Pass it round. You play next week.
There's a special pleasure about a picnic. Children do need contact on equal terms with adults who are neither parents nor teachers, the sort of contact that used to be taken for granted in the close-knit city of our grandparents' day.
Thanks, Phil. Down a lot, Mum.
I enough up, Mum.
It takes restraint to refrain from giving aid except when it's needed. Children welcome the unobtrusive help of adults when there's a real task to be done and when no one's bossing them about. It's a pleasure, but it's also a responsibility, and because it's a responsibility, the children respond to the job to be done. The modern city had very few real tasks for its children. School seldom provides them, and the only paid jobs they can do are things like paper round or filling the shelves in the supermarket. The number of city farms has grown very rapidly to about 40 today. Albert gave up his job with the electricity board to start this farm, learning along with the children. You don't have to be a farmer to run a city farm or to dip a sheep.
That's the point of city farms, that ordinary people in their own backyards, and after all, in the cities, in this country, people used to and still do have horses and chickens and so on in their own backyards, can take a piece of wasteland in their neighborhood and with their children. Indeed, the children can run a lot of the activities. They can provide a recreational facility which is very inexpensive and very highly motivating for young people especially. And it looks like it helps to take children into something constructive and away from vandalism and other activities which are not very healthy for them or very happy for the rest of the community.